So you talked about the confused confession that
Right.
many Christians are making regarding Christ as Savior. Can you
Right.
kind of unpack that a little bit? What do you mean by that?
Well, since I'm an apologist, a lot of times apologists will address challenges to Christianity and try to help people understand or have reasons for trusting in Christianity, and why God exists and why Jesus rose from the dead and all kinds of details like that. This issue, though, is a little different. This is a biblical issue. This is an issue of what the text actually says. All right. And it's ironic to me that there are going to be Christians who are representing, well, I shouldn't say representing Christ, because generally the person who uses the confused confession is not out there to make a difference for Christ. They're trying to be faithful to Christ, but they're trying to avoid trouble. And that's why their confession is confused, because what they'll say is, well, I believe Jesus is my Savior, but that doesn't mean you have to believe in him. He doesn't have to be the savior of the world, so to speak, or there are other religions, people are following that. And so that believer who makes this statement, and I'm not questioning their commitment to Christ, I'm just simply saying there's something about it they don't understand, because they have just relativized their view. They are not saying that Jesus is the savior of the world, and they have taken advantage of that as a member of the human race who needs salvation. They're saying, I have a private, personalized religious view, and it happens to be Christian, and you might have a different one, and that's up to you, and that's just fine. So it's a way of avoiding the kind of conflict that that believers, followers of Jesus, are actually destined for if they are going to be faithful to the message that Jesus offered. I say it's confused because one time a person called my own show and said, well, offered that thought, and I asked that person, who was a new Christian, so I can understand their confusion. And why do I have to share with other people, is what they said. And I said, well, why did you become a Christian? And he said, well, I became a Christian because I needed to be forgiven. And if you didn't become a Christian, I asked in a follow-up, and he said, well, then I wouldn't be forgiven. Okay. And then he started thinking about that. I just left a pause there, and then the change fell into the meter, and he goes, oh, so therefore it follows that if my friends don't know Jesus and take advantage of the rescue that he provides, then they won't be rescued either. And that's why they need Jesus as well.